Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Chris Farris. I'm a professional scooter rider, and today we're going to talk about how to dial your scooter. Basically, what dialing means is to give it that nice sound. Also, all the bolts, all the bearings, all the hardware nice and tightened, but not over tightened and not under tightened. All right, so you're a couple weeks into owning your Maggear Pro scooter, but your bolts are starting to become a little bit loose. What do? Let's talk about it. You take your 6mm Allen. We're just going to loosen up that clamp just enough to be able to slide those bars off. Basically, all we're doing is checking the compression system. The compression system is what holds your forks to your bars. It's probably the most important part of your scooter. Bars should just slide right off. Very nice. Set those there. You might have to check the compression system to make sure that it's not too tight or too loose. Let's check this one. Okay, good example. So, as you can see already, we have a little bit of a wiggle with our compression system. We're running IHC right now, and this can happen very easily. It's not something that's uncommon. It's also not dangerous in any way, but it's very easily fixed. So that's what we're gonna run through. A little bit of stress, a little bit of impact, a little bit too much torque on the bars can easily loosen your compression system if done properly. But basically, it doesn't take much to get it back to where it needs to be. All you really need is a 5mm and a 6mm Allen key. We're gonna go ahead and start with the 6, and we're just gonna give this a little bit of a tighten. Not too much, just until it's snug. Okay, right there. Now I'm gonna stop. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna twist the wheel, and I'm gonna feel what I think it'll feel like when I put those bars on. I want it a little bit tighter. So we're gonna go ahead and give it another turn. Okay, I like that. Okay, cool. Now, one other thing to remember is that it will be a lot easier to turn when you put the bars on. You're gonna have a lot more weight coming down on top of that compression system. So when you turn it like this, it's not gonna have as much resistance when you put the bars on. It's important to remember. I like my scooter a little bit tighter, so I did just a little bit of an extra crank on it. But remember, if you tighten your scooter too much, if you tighten your compression too much, you have the possibility of destroying your headset. Remember, your headset is just a bearing. If you put too much impact, too much pressure on a bearing, it's gonna do what we call shot. You're gonna shoot the bearing. That's not good. You're gonna have to buy a new bearing, and that's a problem. So you wanna make it snug, but you don't wanna make it over tightened. I like the headset. I like the compression. I like where it's at. I'm gonna leave it there. Next thing you wanna check are the wheels. Okay, front wheel has no wiggle. Back wheel's the same, nice and tight. Another test that's really cool is if you give it a spin and it comes to a stop, you know it's gonna be dialed. But if you give it a spin and it starts lasting and just keeps going and you kind of hear that, that's how you know the bearing's probably shot or it's not tightened enough. I really like how much that's tightened. See how it comes to a stop? Perfect. How about the front wheel? Perfect. Okay, so I'm happy with the wheels, right? So compression, check, good. Wheels, check, good. What's the next thing we need? Brake. Brake's a little bit loose. So this is where we take our 5mm Allen key. We just give it a little bit of a tighten. Not much, just a little bit. There we go, back to that snug position, just the way we like it. Okay, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and check, make sure all our checkpoints are solid. Compression's tight, wheels are tight, brake is tight. Okay, last thing we need to do, slide the bars on, make sure they're snug, and then we'll be able to get that drop test for you guys. All right, bars are on. Okay, bars are on and they're straight. Now, one very common mistake is the bars might be seated just a centimeter too high on the top of the fork. Now, the way we can fix this is you can honestly just take your hand, give it a couple hits. You can take a rubber mallet, give it a couple taps, but basically all we want to do is ensure that the bars have reached the base of the head tube. We want to make sure that they're snug on top so that when we tighten the bolts, there's no gap separation between the bottom of the bars and the top of the head tube. I'm happy with this. I think it's nice and snug. Yep. Now what we're going to do is just tighten up those bolts. Now, another very common mistake, a kid will start tightening his bolt, okay? And then he won't stop. He'll tighten and he'll tighten and he'll tighten, and then he'll move to the next bolt and do the same thing. Now, if we really want to make sure that this scooter can last as long as possible, what we're going to do is tighten one bolt until snug. Okay, there's snug. Move to the next bolt. Same concept. Okay, there's snug. One more bolt to go. Okay, now there's snug. Now what am I going to do now? Stop there with untightened bolts? No, I'm going to move back up to the top and do the same concept again. Tighten till snug, tighten till snug. And what you'll notice is as you continue doing this, the bolts will be a little bit less tight each time you move back up to the top. The reason why you do this is you want to make sure that the clamp tightens evenly across all 3 bolts. I'm happy with that. It's lined up. You can even take a quick look down the middle of your clamp. There's a small slit right here that you can look down to make sure that it's snug on top of the head tube. Okay, I'm happy with how tight it is. It's lined up. Let's do one last little check. Wheels are tight. Let's check them. Yes, wheels are tight. Brake. Brake is tight. Front wheel. Front wheel is tight. Compression system. Compression system's tight. Okay, it sounds good. I think we should give it a drop and see if it really is dialed. All right, guys, my name is Chris Farris. Thank you so much for watching How to Dial Your Scooter Like a Pro. I hope this video helped you out. If you have any more questions, please check out madgear.com and also give us a follow on all the social media outlets. Have a great day.